Okay, folks, so here are a few things that we're going to look at and correct today. Hopefully everybody will get through this today. That'll be a lot of fun. So the first thing is resizing an image. So what I did was I went to this way cool site called Unsplash. I'm not sure if you know about Unsplash. It's unsplash.com. And if you go here, you'll see wonderful photos that you can use. If you credit, if you attribute, you can use these with your course. But you can also manipulate them. So here, if I download this, it could actually be up to 2,400 pixels by 3,600 pixels. So some people, when they're downloading, like myself sometimes when I'm tired, forget that what I've done is I've downloaded a ginormous image. And if you see here on my Avenue course, if the students want to see my whole image to see what actually is going on in the picture, they have to use the scroll bar. So that's a bit of a problem, right? So in reality, the Moodle or the Avenue will actually resize it for you or allow you to resize it. But it's better to have the actual picture you upload to be a smaller size because if you imagine your students, if you have a big home page, a long home page and lots of images on it through labels, what will happen is if the student has data or a slower bandwidth or like my slow bandwidth, then it's going to really take a long time for them to work through your course. So it's good practice to make sure that you optimize the image for the web, for your course, before you upload it. Okay, so that's one. So we're going to resize images for size, dimensions, for visual dimensions, but also for uploading and bandwidth purposes. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate images. Look at this one here. The light bulbs are defying gravity. But we're going to flip it over. Another one is when you get a great image, but you don't really want to talk about the berries. You want to just talk about the bird itself. You can crop an image. Another thing that's very, very important with a tool like Pixlr or Photoshop, these things, they have these layers and you can use layers to make some really amazing features. One of the features is you can add text layers on top. So for us, as language teachers, it's a good thing because you can put a layer, pictures like of this scene, and you can have gardening and you can have shovel, plants, potter, working, whatever, tree. Anyway, you can label on that if you want. And then if you can see this picture here, it's a picture of a person windsurfing, but if you look carefully in the background, that's not ocean, that's mountains. All I've done is I've taken one picture and another picture, and I've put the mountains in the background, I put the surfer in the front, and then I made him look a bit more transparent, less opacity, and it blends in really nice to give a really nice effect. There's no limit on the amount of layers you can use. So it's kind of like recording music with different tracks. Another thing too is, as language teachers, there's a great feature with selection tools and filters. Do you see the picture? The children are all in black and white, and the lollipops are red. And so the lollipops, when I got the picture, were not red. If you want to point something out or make it highlighted, you can use selection tools and different filters to have the students identify something in the image really quickly. And then also, for example, this one here, there's a picture here of an old phone, but I wanted to make it look even older, so I made it black and white using something called color adjustments. So that's what we're, excuse me, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make these kind of things happen. And so I will demonstrate and you will do. If you don't want to do it now, you can do it later, later on when you have your tea, on the weekend if you want. It's up to you. Okay, so I'm following the sheet here. We're going to use Pixlr is a free site. You can sign up if you want, but I haven't. I've been using Photoshop for years. I used to teach graphic design. I find that I use Pixlr 9 out of 10 times. I don't reach into Photoshop because it takes so long to do basic things. It takes up so much memory on my computer. If I want to do something really cool really quickly, I will jump on Pixlr, and I haven't even signed up yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on Pixlr E. Sorry, I should do that slower. Pixlr E, this button right here, the advanced photo editor. Okay. So the first image we're going to look at is the one called Resize 1. So if I click on Open Image, and here is here's my folder here. It pops up, and I'm looking for the image Resize 1 JPEG. I click Open. Now, this tool does a really nice thing. If you are always working on the web with your images, automatically choose web. Automatically choose web. So please don't be doing this right now. Just watch me, and then you'll do the sequence. So if I choose web, it makes the size smaller. If I choose Ultra Max, Ultra HD, it gets really, really big. So I'm going to choose web, click apply. And there it is. It's in the browser, sitting there nicely. And here is the full editor. At the top, I have a menu bar. On the left, I have the tools. In the middle, I have the media or the image. To the right, I have something called the navigate panel. The navigate panel is good because it's got a zoom slider. I can slide in and out. Then we're going to look at the layers later, but this is the layers panel. And down here is history panel. The history panel is often overlooked, but I'm telling you, say if you do 25 steps and you want to go back 3 or 4 steps or all the way to the beginning, all of the steps are listed here. If you just click on it, it will automatically take you back. So you don't have to go undo, 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 undo. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to look at really resizing this. Now we're on, we're going to look at really resizing this. So I'm going to go image, image size. For my Avenue course, 1280 is still too much. So I'm going to change that to 700. Now, if you noticed, okay, if you notice, the height automatically changed to keep the constraints, to keep the proportion of the picture. And that's because I have constrained proportions automatically set up. Everybody does, okay? So if I make it smaller, the width and the height come down proportionally so the picture does not lose any of its aspect ratio or proportion. Then I click apply. Do you notice that the picture got smaller? Yes, it's reduced, but it's still a good picture. Now, if you want to edit it fully, you go to the navigate toolbar or navigate panel, and you slide this up. And even though the picture's smaller, you can zoom in like that. Okay? And then what I'd like you to do now is, if you could go back to page number 1, work all the way down to the bottom of to step number 14, 1-4, on your own, if you can. I'll give you a few minutes. I'm watching the chat window if there's issues. So at this time, if you could start at step number 2 and work down to step 14. If you're finished, please give me a thumbs up in the participants window. Where are the steps? The steps are in the handout that I sent via email this morning. Thanks. It's a PDF document. If you don't want to do the steps now, it's fine. If you finish, please click on, in the participants panel, can you click on the thumbs up? You do that by rolling or scrolling over the more icon. Oh, lovely. Thanks, Terrence. Yes, Elizabeth, I mentioned that earlier. You can do that, yep. That's part of Avenue. That's not part of this workshop. Thanks, Alexandra. Thanks, Svetlana. Okay, I'll give you one more minute, please, to catch up to step 14. Thanks, Magdalene. I can't see everybody's face here, so it's, oh, maybe if I could do that, yeah, there you go. Yes, I can. Okay, I'm going to assume that if you were doing it, you're at step number 14. So that's the dimensions of this, right? So what you want to do now is you want to think about the bandwidth that the students are going to experience with your images. So in order to do that, we're going to think of storage size here. So in order to do that, now remember I'm demonstrating, so just watch. If you go File, Save, these are the details of your image. And if you see here, there's your storage size. It's 116 kilobytes online, okay? Normally, web images are JPEGs, sometimes they're PNGs. You can adjust this really quickly by going medium or low for settings, or you can use the slider to adjust the settings to see what you would like to see, what quality you would like to have. Of course, the lower quality, the smaller the size, the higher the quality, the larger the image. So it's up to you to find the balance between what that you see, the aesthetic value, and the size. Okay. So what I'd like you to do, if you could, go to page number 5, and if you see that there are 1, 2, 3 steps. Can you try that by clicking on low, medium, and high and looking at the size differences? Can you do that now, please? On an image like this, it's already been resized, so it's quite reasonable. But if you get an image from some internet sources that are 5,000 pixels, this will make a big difference to the quality itself, not just the dimensions. Okay. If you are finished with that, those 3 steps, can you indicate with a thumbs up, please? Okay, I'm getting a couple there. Nice, awesome. Way to go, Elizabeth, Paul. Nasiha? Svetlana, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to move forward. So why do we care about image storage size? If we keep our images consistently large, then the loading time for our learners increases. So we have to be aware of that when we're bringing our pictures onto Avenue. On this screen, you can also rename the image. So you can call it Lookout Dude. I don't know what I was thinking when I thought of that. So Lookout Dude, and then you would click on Set Your Quality and click on, now this is how you save it. You click on Download. You're going to click on Save, and it will go into your Downloads folder. Remember, you're working on the internet, the web. So that's how it would naturally go. So download and save. Okay. The save image pop-up is still here. So I'm going to click on the close button and we're back here. So that's how you save your document at the end. Okay. We're not going to be saving a lot of these. All right. Okay, so I'm starting on page number 6, number 2, rotating. Okay, you can work with multiple documents like you could in Photoshop on this web tool. So what I am inviting you to do now is go File, Open Image, and then click on number 2, upside down light bulbs, and open. So could you open this, please? So obviously what we're going to do is we're going to try to reorient these light bulbs. So just for the heck of it, we're going to go to Image, Image Rotation, and rotate left counterclockwise. And that's not what we want. So a quick way to get out of that is go Edit, Undo. A better option is go to reorient this to go Image, Image Rotation, and Flip Vertical. And that's where you get your orientation. So you're welcome to start on page 6, number 1, step 1, and go to step 8, please. Page 6, steps 1 to 8, please. When you're finished, can you please give me the thumbs up or put something in the chat? Paul, you're like lightning. Terrence, so are you. Karen, slow down. All right, this is great. Thanks. So I'm hoping this is not too difficult. And I'm also hoping that a few of you are just watching and then going to do it later. All right, so we're going to go to the next image, which is cropping images. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go File, Open Image, and number 3 is cropping JPEG. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this bird, and I just resized it. I just brought it into a better view here by using the Navigate zoom bar, and I just want to see the bird. So all I'm going to do is go into the toolbar, and there's the crop tool. If I click on it, okay, I didn't really talk to you about this before, but when I click on a tool, the modifier toolbar shows up here as well. This gives you different kinds of options for every single tool. So if I click here, if I click here, if I click here, notice that the modifying toolbar changes. That gives you so much power when you want to really turn it into a design wizard. So here we have these nodes or areas, I'll call them nodes. If I click on one and slide it to the left, I can put the focus on the bird and get the focus away from the berries. So once I get it to here, I can press Enter, or on the modifying toolbar, I can go up here and click on Apply. And there's your new picture. It's nice and cropped. You know, when you're making activities, sometimes you want to focus on like a bus, not like the whole city scene. This is a perfect tool for that. So on page 7, can you please start at step 1 and go to step 6? When you're finished, can you, one or two of you, click on the thumbs up? Oh my goodness, Karen. Oh my gosh. You've got a lot of energy. Holy cow, Elizabeth, for a Friday afternoon. What? Marissa as well? Oh, there's Paul. Paul, you're slowing down, boy. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you have used cropping before, so it's not earth-shattering. Okay, so here comes the fun stuff. We're going to look at the layers panel. So here's the layers panel way over here. Yeah, looking at the document later is a good idea. So in the Pixlr editor, I'm going to open up the file called layers. Click open. And I'm just going to automatically resize it for web here, just for the heck of it, to save time. I'll zoom out a bit, or zoom in, zoom out, sorry. Oh my goodness, I forgot I got to go get those tickets for tonight. Okay, anyway. So this is a background layer. In Photoshop and all of these high-end editors, you can never edit the background unless you explicitly make it unlocked. So right now it's locked. You can see by the lock icon, this is the background image layer. Over here, there's a more icon. Some people call it the hamburger icon. If I click there, you'll see it's the background layer. There's a transparency setting and it's locked. All I have to do now is click on unlocked, and now I can edit it. I can change it. So the unlock is here. Okay, the unlock, there's no lock here. Okay, so now that I can edit it, what am I going to do with that? Let's see. Actually, what I would like to do right now is I would like to invite you to start on page 8, step 1, and go to step 4, please. And then when you get that completed, some of you, can you please click on the thumbs up? That's page 8, steps 1 to 4. Karen, you're slowing down. What's going on? I see you over here. Maybe it's too easy for you. Terrence wins. Bye, Vesna. Uh-oh. Okay, is anybody else finished? All right. Okay, so if the layer is unlocked, these are the cool things that you can do now. You can use these guys up here. They're called the selection tools. Okay. Today we're just going to deal with 3 of them. The first one is called the wand, or the magic wand. The wand, what the wand does is it takes pixels of similar colors, and what it will do is it will select the colors that are within the same sort of hue based on something called a tolerance, and it will select them quickly. Okay, so I selected that. The tolerance is set at 32 pixels, and I'm going to click right in the middle of the white snowy sky. And if you can see here, the selection goes all the way to that white area. If I change the tolerance, say to 144, it will select pretty well the whole picture. So I'm going to go back down to 32 again, which is sort of the standard setting. And once you start actually editing a lot, you'll see that you will always be playing with the tolerance with the magic wand tool. So here I've clicked on this area here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go all the way down to here to the color chips or color swatches. I'm going to click on the top one and select my color. I'll make it a green sky, I guess. Once I've selected the color, I click OK. It did nothing. I need to use the fill tool. So the fill tool is here. And when I click in the middle of this selected area, what happens is the sky turns green. When the sky is green, it's cool, but you have to, after you're finished the editing, you have to deselect the selection. So to do that, you go to select on the menu bar, deselect. And now your picture has changed. Now you have this green cloud or sky in this panorama view. Okay, so I'm just inviting you now to start on page 10 and do steps 1 to 10 if you can, if you wish. Is there a problem with this one, or is it going okay? You can unmute yourself if you want to report in. Okay. Can I continue? If I can move forward, can you please give me a thumbs up? Okay, great. Okay, so that's selecting with the magic wand tool and using the color fill. So the next kind of selection tool that you can use with a layer that has been unlocked is the marquee tool. So for that, we're going to use a new image. I'm going to go File, Open Image, and I'll go to number 5, light bulbs. This is different than the last one. So you see the light bulbs are here. All right. So the marquee tool is here. It just looks like dotted lines or ants marching around an X. And if I go up here to the modifier bar, there are different settings, but instead of using a rectangle, because my shapes are kind of circular, I'm going to go to the ellipse and select around this light bulb here. And sort of okay, I've got a selected circle using the marquee tool. And what I can do now is apply these cool filters that you've seen with Photoshop in the past. I'm going to go to Filter in the menu bar, Effect Library, and then it doesn't really matter what you choose today, but you can choose anything. I'll go to the colors, and then there are different kinds of color filters. Maybe we'll go with purple, and then inside of the filter you can maximize or reduce it. You can make it different degrees of application. When I select that subfilter, I click on Apply, and if you see here, the light bulb is now sort of pink by using an effect. If you want to try this, please, can you start on page 11 and go to step number 10, if you could. If you finish, can you please give me a thumbs up or a message in the chat box? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. So I'm going to move forward with this. So right now I have this light bulb selected and I've applied a filter. And it must be tempting just to jump around and go for all sorts of filters. But still have, the light bulb is still selected. So I have to go back up here and go select and deselect. And even though the selection's gone, it's still the color, right? So that's one way of making something highlighted, like the lollipops on my course, okay? Another way is to use the an inversion trick. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go edit, undo, edit, undo, edit, undo. Or what I should have done is gone to my history panel and just went back and clicked on open, and I would have the original image. You see here, if I go to the history, I can go to deselect here, and now I have my work applied, but I can go all the way back to open, and now I've got a fresh document. So we're going to do something very similar, but we're going to invert it. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure my marquee tool is selected, my ellipse is selected, and I'm going to just select the light bulb again. But this time, I'm going to go select invert selection. And then with this, when I go to apply a filter, it will go everywhere but the light bulb. So filter, effect library. Let's go. I'll go to artsy, and night vision is the filter. Click apply. And as you can see, the light bulb is the focus of the image. To get rid of the selection, I go select, deselect, and there's your image. Okay. If you could continue on page 14, steps 1 to 5, if you want to try that. And if you get there, give me a thumbs up or type something in the chat window so we can move forward. Was that difficult or was it easy? Or you're going to tell me you're going to do it later? Okay, so we've had, thanks, Alexandra. So we've had the magic wand tool, we've had the marquee tool, and now here's the other one. This is the one that gets people when you have life on your images and you want to select it and do something with it. And that's why I'm going to work with this cat on a bookshelf. Number 5, cat on a shelf. So the cat on a shelf, the cat's there, and we want to make the cat look a bit more glamorous, possibly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to the selection tools and click on the lasso select. There are 4 different variations of the lasso. The best one is this. It's called magnetic. If you click on the magnetic, what it does is it looks for contrasts in the pixels left to the right of a sort of a perceived line, and it will follow those for you pretty well if there's some sort of contrast. So if I click here, and I don't have to hold the mouse down, I just sort of go around the cat's sort of perimeter. And now because we don't have a lot of time, and I don't have the, there's a size feature sort of like what okay. If I go to the end here and I click, the cat's outline is selected. Okay, I can do a lot better job by changing the size here to probably less than 50. Okay, but you have to play with that. So right now the cat is selected. I can do the invert select to make sure the background's like dark or bright orange or something. But in this case, I'm just going to go to a filter. Now you don't have to always go to the effect library. There are different kinds of filters here as well. And there's one here called Bloom. And when I've clicked on Bloom, I get a slide bar. So I'm going to slide that up to 80 and click Apply. And do you see what it does? It sort of takes the cat, makes it the focal point. It looks a bit unrealistic to the rest because it's got a different sort of color model. So there's the cat. If I want to see what it looks like, I go select, deselect, and there the cat looks, there's something different about the cat with the background, you see? So it's kind of more subtle, okay? If you could go to page 15 and just try that for about 2 minutes, and then we'll move on. Cool for cats? Or was it the other one? The inverted background. Thanks, Svetlana. Okay, we're coming on down to the end here. Remember I said you can work on multiple documents here. So we are working on multiple documents. And if I want to go back and go, oh, that layers one was kind of cool. Maybe I'll use that for something. But so if I just click on this tab, you'll see that it's here. Going to adjust its size so it's more manageable. So you can go to all of these if you want in the future, and as long as you're on there. I think if you pay for an account, they'll be stored somewhere on a cloud, but I'm not sure. Okay, so here's the image, and I want to add text to it. Now, text on these kinds of editors will not go in the same space as an image. So in the layers, you have to add a new layer. If I go here and click on the text, I'll get a new text layer. Or if I just go to the toolbar, easier, if I just click on text and I click on the image, it says, do you want to have a new text layer? I'll say, yeah, sure, I'll add it. And then it invites you to put some text in here. And there you have it, wide open spaces. But look here, there's no contrast between these because in the modifier toolbar, the fill of the text is green. So I have to go back, select the text, and change the color of the text here. So I'll change it to black. And there it is. And also you can do all sorts of text editing up there. But notice here that this text is in this layer. So it's a kind of a cool thing when you're working with this kind of sort of a vector. No, well, not a vector. Well, a layered system rather than with the older photo editor or image editors, because then usually when you did it, when you added text, it would go right into the picture and you couldn't edit the text later on. But with this kind of system, you can. So that's the text tool. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to go to page 16 and try to get steps 1 to 9 completed if you can. Just add text to any of the images. Okay. All right, so here, this is the last thing we're going to do. Remember, there's a lot more that this tool does. This is just an intro to what it can possibly do for you. So the last thing is, the last page. Wow, it's a long document. It's color adjustment. Okay, so if I go to, for example, where's that one? The bird. If I go to the bird and I have the bird image itself, the first thing for color adjustment, I must make sure is that my layer is not locked. So I go to the left of the thumbnail and I unlock the layer. Okay, so it's unlocked. Then I will go to adjustment. And okay, here's one thing I've got to say. All of the images I've picked off of our board from Unsplash, they're professionally done. They've been tweaked beautifully. So if I clicked on auto adjust, it wouldn't do anything. But if you have a camera and you've taken some pictures and it was too bright that day or too dark that afternoon or evening, if you use this auto adjust, 90% of the time it will make vast improvements and you will have a nicer picture. Okay. But here, there's all sorts of things you can do. And just to show you one of them is, I'll just go brightness and contrast. So you can take this pop-up and you can see what's going to happen with the image just by nudging this along. Too bright, or if it's too dark, or if you want to make it look like it's dark outside, or you can change the contrast to make the bird look like it's in a spooky place. Or if there's a flash bulb going off, I don't know. But there are lots of things you can do with this adjustment. Okay, so I would invite you to experiment with those. We're running out of time at the moment. And that's all on page 18 and 19. So what I'd like to do right now is just open up the session to anybody opening their mic or typing in the chat window to comment or ask questions. And if you don't have any, just type in bye or say bye, and we will all have a good weekend.